Amanda, and I will be going over using artificial intelligence while you are job searching. So we are going to go over what is AI, why use it, examples of some sites you can use, how to use it and how not to use it, and just some tips and tricks here and there. But first, we wanted to do a quick icebreaker. So if you have any responses to any of these prompts, feel free to go ahead and unmute yourself or type it in the chat. What is the first thought that comes to your mind when you hear the word AI? What is one interesting thing about you, and what do you hope to get from this workshop? So feel free to choose one or all of those to respond to. The first thing that comes to my mind when I hear AI is a robot, honestly. Even though that's not what it really is. Anyone else think of robots when they hear the word AI?
No.
Unreliable. Somebody wants to learn more about what AI actually is and how to use it. ChatGPT. Hoping it makes work easier, but it can't do everything. Counterfeit art. Unsure and wants to know how does it all work.
Yeah,
so
the
hopefully we
counterfeit
can
art is a
answer.
big one.
Yeah, it's also really weird when
Yeah,
it
yeah.
doesn't come up with like accurate stuff.
I've been
It's
seeing a lot of AI books coming out lately, and you can kind of tell that they're written in the AI. And I feel bad for, I mean, I wrote a book. I feel bad for authors and really any artists that are out there that are making art themselves and then having AI kind of take over a little bit.
yeah, definitely. Hopefully we can help you guys out when it comes to using AI for job search. This is going to be kind of like a tip of the iceberg type of workshop. We're just going to kind of try and cover a little bit of everything. And hopefully it is a good jumping point for you guys to using AI. So let's dive in. What is AI? It stands for artificial intelligence. It refers to computer systems that are capable of performing complex tasks that historically only a human could do, such as reasoning, making decisions, or solving problems. Usually in our daily lives, we use it to answer questions, get questions answered, like from Google. At the simplest level, machine learning uses algorithms trained on data sets to create machine learning models that allow computer systems to perform tasks like making song recommendations, like your Spotify comes up with playlists recommended for you based on what it knows you like, identifying the fastest way to travel to a destination, so using your GPS, or translating text from one language to another, like Google Translate. Those are all systems based on AI. Examples of AI, ChatGPT uses large language models to generate text in response to questions or comments posted to it. Google Translate uses deep learning algorithms to translate text from one language to another. Netflix uses machine learning algorithms to create personalized recommendation engines for users based on their previous viewing history. And Tesla uses computer vision to power self-driving features on their cars. Now, one thing that I think we can all agree on is that it is not 100% accurate. So you might get some recommendations for a movie or a song that the AI thinks you'll like, and you might hate it. Google Translate is not always going to translate 100% accurately. Why are we going to use AI in the job search? I would say 80% of why we would use AI in the job search is based on something called the applicant tracking system, also known as the ATS. For those of you who are unfamiliar with the ATS, it is a software tool used by employers to help them streamline the hiring process. So years ago, Before you could apply to jobs online, you had to go hand in your resume in person, and employers would get maybe 10 or 15 resumes they would have to filter through. Nowadays, they're getting 500, 600 resumes sometimes per day, and they just don't have the capacity to read through every single one and make a human-based decision on who would be a good fit and go from there. So what the ATS does is it scans every single resume that is submitted for a specific job description, and then it tries to match the resume that has the highest rating based on keywords. So what it does is it tries to see which resume has the same amount of keywords that the job description has. And this could be problematic because maybe you do have that skill that the job description just uses a different word than the resume, and a human could decipher and say, well, this is the same skill, but the ATS does not as of right now. So you want them to match as much as possible based on every single job description, and every job description for one type of job is not going to be the same. They have different words they use, different skills that they might list, even if it's the same position, but for a different company. So if you're applying to an administrative assistant role at 5 different companies, there will be 5 different job descriptions that you will want your resume to match. So what the ATS does is it rates and scores resumes, and lower rated resumes won't even get seen. 98% of Fortune 500 companies use the ATS when working on filling a position, and it's estimated that 30 to 60% of smaller companies utilize the ATS. The closer your resume matches to the job posting, the higher the score your score will get in the ATS, even down to the frequency of keywords. So if there's a keyword in the job description and it's in that job description 5 times, you're going to want your resume to say that skill or that keyword 5 times. Recruiters may search multiple keywords to isolate candidates that best fit the job description. So, moral of the story, you're going to need to tailor your resume to each separate job posting. And we know that writing a resume from scratch for, 2 different job postings a day, that's going to be a full-time job, and we don't all have time for that. AI is going to be your time saver. Tailoring your resume to each and every job posting is very time consuming. Using AI in the resume writing process can cut your writing time down to 15 to 30 minutes per job posting. So to get started, we want to be sure that everybody only uses AI for your rough draft. You will need to go through and edit afterwards. So we are going to use AI to give us a baseline draft. And then you go and improve it, make sure it's accurate, because AI will throw in some things to make it sound nice or to make it match the job description. And it may not be something that is 100% accurate. It also will sound like it is from a computer. So you want to make sure that it sounds like it's from you. Before you start, have your work history written down, or your most recent resume, even if it's 10 years old, ready. Have the job posting ready. And then you will give the AI direct instructions. So you can say something like, act as though you are a professional resume writer and your client is applying for XYZ position. Here is the client's resume. Here is the job description. So you're going to copy and paste. You're doing a lot of copying and pasting. And so this is if you already have an old resume, even if you don't think it's a great one, it's just good to get that started that way. You can ask AI to narrow down or expand on certain phrases. So if you're like me and you're not really great at expanding on phrases and you're a very direct person, or your writing is very simple and you want it to sound a little bit more professional, you can just throw in a phrase, ask AI, please make this sound more elaborate. Another prompt you could use is, please create a resume for a person with these skills, and then you'll paste in your skills there. and experience that is looking to fill XYZ position. So paste in that position there. That can get your resume started from scratch. If you don't have an old resume that you can fill in there, you can just write down your skills and get a baseline resume started that way. If you already have a resume completed and you're just looking to make your resume more targeted, you could use a series of prompts to ensure your resume fits the job description of the position you are looking at. So for example, you will have your resume already copied. You will tell AI, please write a professional summary for a person with this resume. Then you paste in your resume that is looking to apply for this position, and then you'll paste in the job description. You can also use AI to change the style of resume if you are going through a career change or you have gaps in work history. So for example, you have a resume based on your work history as a dental assistant, but you are applying for a position as a career counselor. It won't make sense to list all of your dental assisting positions in your history because the applicant tracking system will not think you're a good match, even if you have amazing career counseling skills. So AI can pull your skills from your dental assistant resume and then create a functional or skills-based resume to focus on the skills that you do have that would match a career counseling job description. And again, if you have a large gap in employment where, let's say you were a stay-at-home parent for 10 years, AI can create a functional resume based on your skills. So you would just write down all of your skills. A lot of those skills as a stay-at-home parent would be, very coveted in the work industry. So make a list of your skills, put it in AI and ask ChatGPT or any other AI website to create a functional resume based on those skills. And that way it doesn't look like you have such a huge gap in work history and you're just trying to connect your skills with the job description. All right, now the time has come. I'm going to show you guys an example. If I can get this out of my way a little bit. Right, so I'm going to use ChatGPT. So let's say you are looking for a job as an administrative assistant. Sorry, this thing is in my way and I don't know how to make this. Right, so I can go from one tab to another. So what I do, find the job that you want to apply to. Okay, let's say you want to apply to this job with Hennepin County. Then you will go down to the job description. You are going to copy the entire thing. So you're going to copy that. What I like to do is have just a blank Word document open, and then you're going to paste that job description here. Can everybody see this?
I can see it.
Thank you. So then what you will do is take your resume. What I did is I just wanted to use an example. So I found an example. I didn't want to put my personal history on for everyone to see. So I just grabbed this example here. You don't need to put in your name. And then what I do is I put my prompt right here in the Word document. And I said, create a resume based on this person's history and match it with the job posting below. So I will put, here is the resume, then paste that there. And then I put, here's the job description. And I will copy the entire thing. And then paste it right here. And it took about half of a second. So this is what I pasted, and here is what ChatGPT created for me. It came up with a name because I didn't add the name there. It came up with a summary. It took all of the experience and it made sure to make it match the job description as much as possible. Now you can see here that some of it's going to sound a little funny. So it's also very bare bones right here. So you can expand on this. You can ask AI to see. So here's kind of a simpler phrase. So I'm going to say, expand on this phrase, quotation marks, and then it is going to now you can see it came up with something way more elaborate. And you can ask AI to pare it down a little bit for you if you think that's a little bit too much. It's your choice. You know, you go through it and maybe you just find one sentence that you like there and you add it to what was already there, or you change it around however you like. The other thing is with ChatGPT, I'm not sure about other sites that I haven't used, but ChatGPT, you can start several different chats here on this tab over here. So you can have one tab for resumes, and then one tab for cover letters, and then one tab for your professional summary. And ChatGPT, for anyone who hasn't used it yet, will remember previous things that you have typed in. So you don't need to start from scratch every single time. You could say, make it a functional resume. So it already has all of the information from the previous thing you asked it to do, and it can change as a chronological resume into a functional resume. I will say it's still loaded a little bit chronological, but it does look like it elaborated on something. So that is one way to use ChatGPT to write a resume from scratch. Or from your resume, I should say. You can also, like I said, you can expand, elaborate on ideas, avoid oversimplified phrases, ensure all details are included in the resume, and turn bland wording into more polished sentences. So another example, let's say in your job, you helped customers find products. You can ask, please elaborate on this phrase. And it came up with assisted patrons in locating desired merchandise, providing personalized recommendations, and enhancing their shopping experience. If you feel that that matches what you did, then go ahead and use that, and you might be able to get some more matches in the ATS based on the word merchandise or recommendations or shopping experience. So that is another great way to use AI.
All right, and then for a cover letter, I'm just going to go through some prompts you can use with ChatGPT. So you can create your cover letter yourself first, whatever way that you would like to do it. And it can be just really simple. And then cater it to the position you are applying for, and then prompt ChatGPT to kind of take a look at it for you. So please rate the following cover letter for an X role based on how clearly my skills and passion align with the role and suggest specific ideas on how to improve it. And you can insert your cover letter there, or you can also insert any skills or passions that you want it to align with the role. You can also use ChatGPT to create multiple versions of your cover letter. So because you're going to want to cater your cover letter just like you would cater your resume to each employer, you're going to want to cater it to your different employers as well. So you're going to want to prompt it to rewrite the following cover letter to focus on a certain employer, and then insert the paragraph, or you can just insert the entire cover letter if you like. You can also add a job description here if there's a specific job at an employer that you want to cater it to. So yeah. So there are a ton of AI sites used for job search, and I'm sure this is not all of them. These are the ones that I've researched the most. So obviously ChatGPT, as we've been talking about. There's one called OpenAI, Bard AI. JobScan is one that we use a lot. Somebody's having trouble hearing. Kick Resume is another one. I don't know a lot about it, but I've got a slide on it because I did do some research on most of these. Google Interview Warm-Up is a great one for practicing interviews. Resume Worded is another one. Loop CV is a great one that I'll talk about in a little bit as well. Word Tune is a good one to just help you with your writing. CoverDoc and CoverDoc.ai and CareerFlow.ai. So Loop CV is one that I have personally worked with. I will point out that there is a free version. For the free version, you can apply for one type of job. So the way that Loop CV works is you put in your resume, and you can put in a cover letter as well. And then you pick a type of job that you're looking for, and then it will auto apply to jobs in the field that you're looking for, in the area that you're looking for, in the city that you're looking for, all of that. And it will send automatic emails to recruiters for you, so on behalf of you. And you can actually type a different message if you want, but they will, otherwise, if you don't type one, they will just use their generic letter that they send to everybody. It will also tell you if there's any improvements that you need to make to your resume. And if you decide that you're just really sick of applying to jobs on your own and it's just driving you nuts, you can actually pay for the paid version of Loop CV, which allows you to put in more than one loop. They call them loops. So you can put different jobs that you want. So let's say that you're interested in a few different things and you're not really sure which one you want to do for sure. So maybe you are interested in being an admin assistant. Maybe you are okay with doing like remote customer service jobs, and maybe you also are interested in being a career counselor. So then you would put a loop for each one of those, and so they would just automatically send everything to the recruiters for you and apply on your behalf. The only downside to it is that I believe that they don't actually like fill out the job applications. It's just kind of those ones where they just send the resume, I'm pretty sure. So you might still have to go in and fill out an application, but it would be one of those situations where the recruiter would reach out to you and say, hey, we're interested in your resume. If you could please fill out the application. So you might still have to fill out some applications, but in general, it's going to save you some time. WordTune is another good one. I didn't actually try using this one, but I did watch some little examples of it online. So what it does is it improves vocabulary choices, enhancing the quality of your writing. It clarifies your message, making it easier for readers to understand. It saves time on editing, allowing you to focus more on content than on form. Supports both informal and formal tones, catering to different writing needs. Offers rewriting suggestions to freshen up your content. Facilitates better sentence structure and clarity, and includes basic spelling and grammar correction features. And from what I've seen on here, on the little examples is that they just put like a blurb of something and they kind of ask AI to change it or give some suggestions on how to make the tone different or suggestions on how to edit it or clarify it, make it more condensed, those kinds of things. Kick Resume is one that I did not do any research on, but it is a AI resume checker. So it will check out your resume, maybe give you some advice. It helps out with writing your resume and it helps out with cover letter writing. So as you're probably noticing as I'm going through these, a lot of them do similar things. So it's one of those things where you're gonna want to play. You're gonna want to take down all of the different AI tools and then just start playing with them. My favorites that I use on a regular basis is ChatGPT. I have used Loop CV. It was mostly just to test it out for other people, but I do find that to be a really good tool. And I also really like JobScan. We use JobScan a lot as career counselors. So yeah, those are the three that I use the most often, but you can try out a bunch of different ones and see which ones are most useful for you. Google Interview Warm-Up is another one of my favorites. It is a way for you to basically get on camera and have AI evaluate the way that you're doing an interview. And I'm pretty sure that it also looks at like your facial expression. It might look at your clothes. I'm not sure. It looks at your gestures. It evaluates how you're speaking. Are you speaking clearly? Are you answering the questions well? It'll give you some advice on how to answer the questions better. It'll tell you what you did great and what you could improve upon, that kind of stuff. So it's great for if you don't have somebody to run interview questions with you, you can go on here and you can choose if you want a specific field. So like if you know which job you're applying for and you're getting ready for a specific job, you can pick that field and it will ask you questions based on that field. And then if you don't have a specific field in mind, you can just click on general and it will ask you the most common general questions that come up in interviews. So you practice key questions, pick from a list of industries, or just choose general, get insight and advice in your answers, and get more comfortable with interviewing. So I just really love this tool. Resume Worded. It is designed by top recruiters. It gives you advice and pointers on your resume, what tone is coming across, so similar to the word tune one. It just gives you an idea on the tone, and it tells you what words are overused. One thing I want to mention on this though is sometimes it's going to tell you that words are overused, but you might want them there because as Marie was mentioning earlier for ATS, applicant tracking system, there's going to be times in the job description where a certain keyword is used maybe 5, 6 times, and you're going to want to include that 5 or 6 times in your resume. So it might tell you that a certain word is overused in your resume, but just pay attention to the ones that are keywords that you purposefully put there. CoverDoc.ai, so for cover letters, it generates cover letters for you. You fill out the job description, the position title, and link the company website. And then you can choose the level of creativity that you allow AI to use and the style of writing. And then the last one that we had, the last AI to add is careerflow.ai. It automates job tracking. It optimizes a LinkedIn profile. It is AI, or it can give you AI generated cover letters. And it is another way to practice mock interviews. And it scores your LinkedIn profile and gives suggestions. So if you're just starting out and you're just in kind of exploring mode still and you're not even ready to do a resume, you can actually ask ChatGPT to generate 10 specific job titles that could be a great fit based on favorite skills, interests, your major, or your resume. So you can kind of give it all of this information. You can give it all the skills that you have, all of your interests, what your major in college was, and you can add your resume. You can just say, based on all of this information, what are 10 job titles that would be great for me? Then you can ask ChatGPT to tell you about a typical day in the job titles that interest you the most. So you can grab, the first 3 that pop out to you, and you can say, I would just do it one at a time. Just be like, for this one, what is the best, what is a typical day in this job? And then the next one, the next one. If you're still stuck, you can ask ChatGPT to rank these jobs, insert titles, based on your career goals, insert your career goals, and qualifications, insert skills and credentials. And you can keep that going too. I mean, you can just keep it going with more prompts and stuff. All right, other useful ways to use AI during job search. You can ask AI questions that would be commonly asked at interviews for that position. Then you can ask for examples of good answers for those questions. And you could even ask for a common pay for a position in your area to help with pay negotiations. How not to use AI. So don't rely solely on AI job search tools. Remember to network and build relationships. Don't forget to personalize your application. Make it sound like it's from you, not a computer. Don't forget to highlight your soft skills. AI may focus on technical skills and metrics, but can't measure soft skills like communication, collaboration, and problem-solving skills. And don't forget your well-being. Job search is stressful, and be sure to take breaks and prioritize self-care. And one thing I just like to mention is that it is important to look through your resume after AI creates it for you, because sometimes it creates skills that aren't necessarily a skill that you have. And so you don't want to use the one that it generates right away and don't look through it, because they might have thrown on a skill on there that you don't even have. So then you go to your interview and they start asking you about this skill that's written on your resume, and you're just like, I don't know how to answer that question. So you don't want that to happen. So just make sure to double check everything, and make sure that you change it to sound like you as well. All right. So we're going to do questions now for a little bit, and then we're going to pull up ChatGPT, and you guys can help us come up with some prompts to just kind of play with it a little bit more. So does anybody have any questions? Does JobScan find job listings for you? Marie, do you know the answer to that? I don't think
not. Currently, it does not. Well, I would show you, but I have previous client resumes in there already that I might show, but it scans your resume based on the job description that you put in. So if you're looking for a specific job, you find that job description, copy and paste it in the box, and then you add your personal resume, and then you ask it to score your resume and see how well it matches with that job description. So it pretty much uses the ATS and tells you how well your resume would match based on that job description. It does not find job listings for you. Another thing that it does with the paid version is it will give you a LinkedIn score. So you can put in your LinkedIn profile link, and it will let you know how well it looks and what else is needed, and give you suggestions. Tracy, you have a question?
Yes, I'm wondering what problems you guys have encountered being counselors with AI stuff, and if there's been anything humorous or comical you've come across.
So this is pretty new for us as career counselors, as we have just recently, within the past couple of months, started using it with clients, and every client is different. So some people aren't comfortable with using it. I always recommend don't put in your personal information. You can add that to your Word doc after you use AI. But so far I haven't encountered any. I've only had one participant so far actually use it and apply to jobs, and she did end up getting one. So nothing humorous so far, unfortunately.
All right, thank you.
But any of the other counselors on have any input on using AI for resumes?
I just want to mention that I was mentioning this to Marie earlier. I had a client that really needed a resume and I was going on vacation and I had 30 minutes to finish it. And I was kind of freaking out and I was like, how am I going to do this? So I took the information that she sent me, put it into Chat GPT and asked it to, create a resume based on the information that I gave it. And it threw something together really quickly, of course, like within seconds. And I just copied and pasted that into a Word document. And all I had to do was reformat it and reword a few things. And it only took me just about 30 minutes. So it was really nice to use it as a tool for that. And it's just a really great tool that saves a lot of time.
Lavina, I'm gonna come back to that question in a second for the healthcare technician class here. I was using Chat GPT on desktop, but it should work the same on a mobile device. And Troy asks, if a recruiter suspects a resume was constructed with the assistance of AI, will that lower your chances of being considered once it gets past the algorithm? Is it a common annoyance for recruiters? Some employers are using a tool to see if a resume was written with AI. So this is why we really try to run it home that once you get that base outline of your resume, go through it and edit it and make it your own. You don't want the resume to be 100% written by AI. You don't want it to be even, 90% written by AI. So go through it, change some of the words. You'll be able to see once you've done this a few times, what sounds kind of just like weird, like a human didn't write it. So go through and change any of those things, change anything that wasn't accurate, like Amanda stated before, or anything maybe you just don't like the way it's worded and it just doesn't sound like you or doesn't feel right to you. So there are some employers who are screening for that and will likely throw out your application, but I don't know that a lot of them are right now. I couldn't give you an answer on how many, but I have heard that is a thing. Yes, question, Abdikadir.
Yeah, it's not Abdi, it's Katie. Sorry.
Okay.
It's just the one that Avivo gave me to use the Zoom link.
Oh,
So
gotcha.
I do have a question, I guess, kind of bouncing off of Troy. So yeah, I guess my question is, when I'm working with clients, I don't know how to really say this, is so because yes, nowadays the job description should be in there, but like he was talking about, for recruiters and stuff, do they really want to see the exact words that are in the job description? Because, like you said, it works with ATS, but then when it gets to it sounds to me like it's kind of like how is it really helping? Because like if yeah, I don't know if you understand what I was saying.
Yeah, so I think your question is best answered by the fact that if you don't have those keywords in there, it won't even get seen by a recruiter.
Right,
So in order to even get a good score and get to a recruiter, you're going to have to get past the ATS.
right.
So it's a tool and you can use it how you want. And if people prefer not to use it and just to go old school and just write it all 100% themselves, I do want to leave a couple of minutes to loop back to the class that had a question. So Katie, I don't know if that answers your question or if there was anything else.
No, I think it's answered as good as it can be because it's like, well, then
Yeah,
once it gets to the recruiter, it's basically a personal opinion, because recruiters are people. So, okay, yeah, kind of. I
Yeah,
appreciate.
so I mean, as much as you can, edit it and make it sound polished and make it sound as well as you can, or get advice, have friends, have counselors, look at it once you have gone through and edited it, see what other people think, get some advice and feedback. I am going to circle back to the healthcare technician class, wondering what people's thoughts are on whether AI will create more jobs than it takes away. So I guess this is sort of an open forum question. What is everybody's thoughts on that?
I I've heard that usually what happens with technology, like any technology, sometimes it takes jobs away, but eventually it adds more jobs. So they're going to need people to be AI technicians. They're going to need people to understand how it works and how to mess with it. They're going to have people that know how to work the different AI machines and um, how to make things connect. So yeah, I think that it might initially take away some jobs, but what I'm kind of noticing is that most of the stuff, besides the art thing, I know we kind of mentioned that earlier, but some of the jobs that AI would be really good to take care of are some of the jobs that people just do not want to do, things that people are just not happy doing. There might be some cashier type jobs taken away that people don't really enjoy doing. Some more high labor kinds of jobs, those kinds of things that AI might take that would be a positive thing, I think. And a lot of jobs like, we're still going to need humans. So AI can't replace human compassion and things like that. So there's still going to be a ton of human jobs out there. But I think that the good thing about AI is that it's going to take over some of those jobs that are just things that people don't actually want to be doing.
My take on it personally is that it can do tasks. I don't know that it can do an entire job position. I think we can use it to streamline tasks like creating lists and writing resumes and things like that. But I don't know that it will ever have the ability to do an entire job. Katya says right now it's not truly AI anyway, it's not actually intelligent. I kind of agree with that.
Yeah, it's not sentient or anything.
I was just gonna say, I think it's gonna create, every company is gonna need to come up with their policy on how they manage AI and their kind of, I don't know, I'm interested because I know lots of different fields are gonna be affected by it, but I'm like in the finance baking industry and I kind of wonder how all the different corporations have to implement policies. So it'll be interesting and have like an AI director or kind of officer of AI.
Yeah.
Right.
Any other questions? Okay. Do you want to pull up ChatGPT again, Marie, and just throw a few things at it?
Yeah, does anybody want to see, like maybe you have a prompt you want me to throw in and see what ChatGPT gives?
I think we should just do a professional summary.
Okay. Let me share my screen again. It's not letting me get out of here. There we go. All right. Okay, what kind of professional summary should I put in for what type of position? Somebody, anyone want to throw in the chat or want to see one for a certain position?
How about for a stage manager, since I was a theater major?
say, I'm just going to throw in some minor details here with experience and a degree in, what would be a degree for that?
Theater arts.
ER or RE?
I don't think it matters.
Okay. All right, so give a little bit of details. And okay, so it gives us some skills. We didn't even say we had specific skills, but it knows that a stage manager needs the skill of coordinating aspects of stage operations, rehearsals to performances to ensure seamless and successful shows, combining theoretical knowledge with practical expertise in stagecraft and production management. Now, there might be some things that are not in here that you would say, oh, wait, I have done this, and you want to add it in there too. You can just go right in ChatGPT and say, add XYZ skill to that summary, and it would create the same summary and then add in that one skill as well. And again, this is a good starting point. Go through and edit it. Make sure it is accurate. Don't ever put things in there that are not true to you as a person.
And this is probably a little bit too long.
It is pretty long, yeah. You could say, make this summary 3 to 5 sentences or something like that, or 2 sentences. Okay, what was in the chat?
Business
Business
analyst.
analyst. Okay. Create a professional summary.
Lori, what was it that you wanted us to demonstrate?
Oh, just an example of a prompt that would make that summary shorter, because I was thinking the same thing. It's way too long.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you can just say, make that summary and be as specific as you can. I'm going to say 2 sentences. See if it does it. There you go. Then you can always add more if you think it needs more. And just play with it. It's a lot of, it's not perfect. So we got to kind of just play with it, see what works for you. Add in things, move things around, and then make it your own again, like we said a bunch of times. Assistant, medical admin assistant. Oh yes, we've got the class here, so let's do that. Need a professional summary. Medical assistant. Go, and ChatGPT already knows it pulls from the internet. It knows that a medical admin assistant needs to know how to manage patient records, schedule appointments, handle insurance claims. You might want to expand on those and talk about what softwares you know how to use or things like that.
Tracy has a question.
Same.
Tracy, what's your question?
Well, I just had a comment more in that I've played a lot around with ChatGPT. And one interesting thing you can do with ChatGPT, if you don't like something, you can literally ask it to make it better, or you can ask it, to change in almost any way you want to. But it can literally write a story, write whatever, and you say, could you do a better job with that? And it will literally improve it. Like it is an unusual tool that way.
All right, let's give that a try. Let's say make that summary better. Let's see what it says. So looks pretty similar.
Isn't it true that you can just click a button and it will do another version of it? Or I thought you could.
Is it this one?
Maybe
I'm
not.
not sure.
I thought there was a regenerate button, but I'm not. Maybe that's on the paid
Maybe.
one now.
Yeah, maybe that's on 4.0. I'm using the free version. Is that Katie again?
Yeah, so I was just gonna say I use Chat GPT a lot and then use Quillbot. So because Quillbot, the paraphraser is free, so like I will like you guys were saying, make it better or whatever. I take whatever sentence it is, put it in Quillbot, and then it paraphrases it over and over and over again, all different ways. You can look for different like objective words by clicking on the word. So that's what I find most helpful for like paraphrasing stuff.
Willbar, thank you.
Thanks for sharing that. Lisa has a question. How would you tailor that to someone who just completed classes and is looking for experience?
Create a professional summary for a medical application for newly graduated experience. Now you can change whatever your certification is there. I could have made it more clear and said newly graduated student with certification for, XYZ.
I actually like what it came up with.
Yeah, that's really good, right?
Mhm.
I think it wouldn't hurt to add some soft skills in there as well that, are transferable across different fields.
Yeah.
That was helpful. Thank you.
Good Lord.
That was interesting.
And-
Does anyone have any other prompts you want to try before we shut down? Looks like people are starting to leave. All right. Well, I'm gonna stop recording. Where did the
Thank you
record?
guys so much.
I don't see the record button anymore. Is there a
Oh,
second?
maybe it's on mine.
Oh, here we go.